Paula Newcomer is a poet, a writer, and she teaches journaling at Mary's Place. And she's going to tell you a story about the lessons that life throws your way, especially the ones you least expect. I can talk, I swear. Please keep it going for Paula Newcomer, everybody.
Hey there. My name is Paula Newcomer, and before we moved here about 16 years ago. That the cat had a wound on its leg, and I said, mother's mantra: don't touch the cat. Don't touch the stray cat. But then I saw this wound, and I kind of went into, rescue mode, full-blown rescue mode. And I called my husband at his veterinary hospital. He's a veterinarian. And I said, there's a little cat here, and it has a wound. Can I bring it over to the hospital? And he said, sure, bring it over. And I knew he would find a good home for it. So I scooped up the cat and carried it to the car. Now, put it in the car, and then I go, oh my God, that little cat scratched me. I came away, with a smear of blood on my hand. And I went, well, I can't put the kids in the car with that wild cat. If we're gonna be over, we have a problem here. So that afternoon at the Board of Health, the director of the Board of Health said to me, can you be sure that that cat didn't get scratched or bitten by a rabbit, raccoon, or a skunk? And I said, no. And he said, well, what are you waiting for? And he pointed to my two boys sitting right outside his office. He said, rabies is 100% fatal. It's a god-awful death. He said, you have to get shots within 24 hours. Report back to me. Well, take this out. On the way home, I called my husband, and I said, here's an update. And he said to me, well, are you foaming at the mouth yet? He was trying to lighten things up a bit. And he slept on the sofa that night. I went to the hospital, the ER, emergency room where I was sent. And I waited for a long time. There was this guy sitting next to me who was about 400 pounds, and he'd sliced open his hand cutting a bagel. Now he had a towel wrapped around his arm, he was bleeding down his arm, and he was still gnawing on that bagel. And when he finished chewing, he said to me, what are you in for? And I said, rabies shots? Don't you know? You're not supposed to touch a stray cat? Everybody in the ER agreed with him. And I thought, well, Einstein, at least I can slice open a bagel without ants landing up here in the ER. Then she comes, I brace myself for the question, don't you know? And instead she surprises me. She says, have your kids had breakfast this morning? Well, I looked over at them. I'd been out wrestling with the hurricane. I didn't know if they'd had Cheerios, while they were watching their cartoons or not. So I looked at them and I said, did you boys eat? No. She said, well, do you think they would like a leftover tray that one of the patients had left, and didn't touch? I saw the boys staring at my face. I saw they were hungry. I knew what we looked like to this woman. Like two kids in their pajamas, not fed. Me, this distracted mother, looking, with the impending doom of rabies hanging over her, looking out the window at the heaving trees. Anyway, she brought the tray. The kids pounced on it. My oldest ate the cold farina. My youngest buttered a rock-hard roll and gnawed on it. And even I moved away from the window to pick at those unnaturally yellow scrambled eggs, I saw that nurse over there talking to another woman, and another nurse, and they were sort of whispering, and I thought, oh, Jesus. she's going to call Child Protective Services on me. She's going to report me to DIFAS. So I started thinking about, what I knew about rabies, and this whole journey of rabies since it started. And of course we all know Old Yeller, right? But I thought about To Kill a Mockingbird, where Atticus Finch shoots this rabid dog that's wandering through the neighborhood in their Alabama town. And he impresses Scout and Jim, his kids, because he's known as one-shot Atticus, because he can kill this rabid dog so easily and humanely. And I'm thinking, what will my kids think of me? They're one-scratch mama. They're 11-shot mom. Would they think that my act was one of compassion, or was I just careless? I wasn't sure what they would think exactly, but I knew they loved animals. And I thought, well, maybe I just stamped into their prepubescent brain, the idea of thinking before you act. Well, that's pretty good. Consequences, good, bad, to the things that you do. And then I thought, well, really the thing that's important here is that I realized that I had lost my mother very early on in my life, too early I thought. And I thought the most important thing I had done was I had taken these rabies shots, which were, inconvenient and painful. And I had made sure to not take a chance and to keep their young mother, my son's young mother, me, alive. And, there's that, we're always counseled to take care of ourselves first, mothers. And I thought, well, that's a good thing that I did. And then I realized that my kids wouldn't appreciate that now, and they especially didn't appreciate it when they were teenagers. But now that they're adults, I think they're glad. My oldest son has a son of his own now, and we babysit that little 13-month-old grandson of ours and love him dearly. And I think that they're happy that I didn't take a risk, So anyway, a couple days later then, the kids were swimming in the pool, and they're doing, the synchronized swimming that they used to do on Saturday Night Live skits. Do you remember that? Which was always very entertaining. And a little cat ran across the backyard, and my oldest son had a little raggedy ears, a black cat. My oldest son goes, "Don't touch the cat, Mommy." And my youngest says, "Don't touch, Mommy." So I stand up, and I look, and I see that there's these dark shapes, flying over the really sky blue water. And I realized that there are bats flying right over the pool they're in, and the bats are eating mosquitoes. And I realized that, the bats are flying by echolocation, and they're not really a threat to my boys. So I go to my husband, "Oh my God, now look." And he starts to say, "Don't worry." But I stepped forward and I said, "Hey, I'm not worried. I'm going in for a swim already. I've had my shots already."